Guys, welcome in today to Right on Rangers Live. Man, it is a great day so far today, especially after watching that 3-2 thrilling Rangers extra innings win over the Royals. Just what the doctor ordered before the Rangers get on a long flight to go to Oakland here for a few games. So we'll get into all of the highlights, all of the key moments, all of the hot topics from the game here in just a little bit. But y'all know here at Right on Rangers, we do our best to cover everything sports, putting a little bit of extra emphasis on all the teams we love from the great state of Texas, including the Rangers. Thank you for joining us here today. This kind of works out perfect. You know, we've got the Stars Knights game coming up here in about an hour's time. I was a little worried that rain delay was going to push things back and we were going to have a little bit of overlap, but fortunately, the game ends in plenty of time. So we will get everybody out of here, including ourselves, to go watch that Stars Knights game 7 here in just a little bit. So let's start by going over the big moments of the game. And there's none bigger than the moment that Nate Lowe had in the 10th inning, coming up with one out and runners on first and third. Leote, of course, the ghost runner, starting off at second base. We had Simeon striking out. He got kind of a tough call there on the second pitch. Probably ball one, got called strike two, 0-2 count. And then Simeon strikes out. Really only got off speed pitches in that at bat. Tough first at bat to start off extras by Marcus Simeon. Corey Seager comes up, is able to get at least the ball in play. It wasn't much of a hit. And in fact, you know, it probably should have been an out, but the second baseman kind of fumbles around with the ball a little bit, allows Seager to reach. So you had runners first and third, Nate Lowe up to bat. And Nate Lowe actually started off an 0-2 count, right? Swung at a bad first pitch, let a low sinker go by for a called strike. And then after that is able to ultimately send a line drive into right field for the game-winning RBI. Nate Lowe is on a crazy tear right now since coming back from his injury. I think I saw this stat last night, I believe, and I'm sure it only got added to at this point. Nate Lowe leads the Rangers in hits. That was a stat that I saw last night. I couldn't believe it. I mean, I'm going to look it up right now while we're on the live, but Nate Lowe leads the Rangers in hits was the stat that I saw last night, I should say. And it's hard to believe considering that Nate Lowe has only been playing since April 20th. You know, you missed the first, 23, 4 games of the season? Not that many, but 23, 24 days and leading the Rangers in hits. That is absolutely crazy to me. And it just goes to show you how good Nate Lowe has been since coming back from that injury. Nate Lowe is pretty much what has the Rangers offense actually like maintaining a heartbeat right now. Nate Lowe, 4 hits yesterday, comes up with some incredibly clutch hits today. And he is an absolute godsend to an offense that is not at their best right now. Let's just say that. The offense is not at their best right now. So, with that being said, I really, really feel like Nate Lowe's hit is the moment of the game, but can we not forget about what Jon Gray and what the pitching did for us today? Jon Gray, just an outstanding start from him. I want to say in his last 8 starts, he's got like a 150 ERA, maybe his last 8 appearances, a 150 ERA. That's pretty crazy. That is pretty crazy that we've got that stellar of a performance from Jon Gray, a guy that after the first 2 starts of the season, a lot of people weren't too pleased with. You know, Jon Gray has put together an incredible run, but started off a little bit rocky. His first couple of starts were not great. At least like the first 3 starts, you kind of looked up and were wondering, is Jon Gray going to be a bullpen guy? I know that was kind of getting thrown around after Jon Gray's first 2, 3 starts. I don't think anybody is saying that anymore with what Jon Gray has been putting together. By the way, Nate Lowe most hits since April 20th. on the team, most hits since April 20th. Simeon leading the Rangers with 38 hits. I think Nate Lowe is up to like 17 or 18 at this point. So, look, most hits on the team since April 20th. Nate Lowe, there it is. 4 hits last night, game-winning hit tonight. Outstanding. So, Jon Gray, back to the pitching. He has basically a 150, a sub-2 ERA in his last 7 or 8 appearances. He did not deserve to lose this ball game, and it was looking like that was going to be happening for pretty much the entire game. Gray goes 7 strong innings, 7 hits, no walks again. I have been saying that it's just the Rangers' recipe for success. The pitchers not walking and not giving away free bases. It has been so huge. And Jon Gray, no walks. Yes, 7 hits are there, but that is a very respectable stat line. It's an incredible stat line. 2 runs in 7 innings, 7 base runners, 7 strikeouts. Jon Gray pitched phenomenally today. He deserved to win this game. Obviously, gets a no decision here, but he surely did not deserve to lose this game. And thankfully, Nate Lowe had a say in that, and Jonah Heim had a say in that. And we have a Rangers win. Kirby Yates gets his 3rd win of the season. Yates pitched 2 innings of shutout baseball, 1 walk, no hits, 2 strikeouts. Robertson comes in, slams the door in the 10th inning, walks Bobby Witt intentionally. I thought that was a great move, by the way, walking Bobby Witt. Just a guy, pretty much the only guy in the lineup that had been just crushing the baseball all day long. I was kind of worried there for a second. Maybe the Rangers are going to get cute here and pitch to him. But Bobby Witt had like a double and a triple already today. Not the guy you wanted to pitch to. Was very glad to see the Rangers intentionally walk him, especially with 2 outs. You trust Robertson to be able to get at least 1 out there. And sure enough, on one of the first pitches of the next at bat, Robertson gets the fly out to right field with the pinch hitter up to bat. And Robertson gets his first save of the season, lowers the ERA to 102. So we have got Kirby Yates with a 0 ERA and David Robertson with a 102 ERA. These 2 bullpen guys, who would have thought would be pitching this well? I mean, I know we all loved, at least I loved the signings of Yates and Robertson, just bullpen depth, veteran guys. Instead of relying on all these young guys to get you through, you've got some veteran guys like Yates and Robertson that you knew were going to be at the back end of the bullpen. But I don't think anybody expected a 0 ERA from Yates this far in. Yates to pretty much be the bona fide closer at this point, and Robertson to have a 102 ERA and pretty much be that high leverage guy at any moment. I think I said when we first signed Robertson, I thought we were going to do a little bit of everything with him. I thought that we would have Robertson be in some maybe 7th inning high leverage role situations. I thought Robertson could be a bridge guy. I thought Robertson could save you games. Robertson's got, I think, over 150 plus saves in his career. So this wasn't a moment today that was at all unfamiliar to him, and it showed. This is what the Rangers need. We've had too many guys, too many closers. Leclerc, I think, is in the mix of just guys where the moment can be a little bit too big when especially you're in the extra innings rule that baseball has now, where you automatically have the guy starting on second base. There is plenty of pitcher that just does not handle that situation well, where you automatically have a guy in scoring position and you have to keep them from scoring. Robertson just did an outstanding job. And I was glad to see the Rangers take this one. It might just be because the bad memories sometimes stick with us more than the good ones. But it just seems like in this case, in this extra inning era with the ghost runner, whatever you want to call it, I've seen the Rangers just not score that guy many times, I feel like, where we just do not even get a run across with that guy starting at second base. So to see us get a big hit from Nate Lowe in the 10th inning after it was looking a little dicey with the Simeon and Seager at bats, phenomenal that Nate Lowe comes up there. Would have loved to have seen Doley add on. And look, I know I'm being picky, but Doley today, there was a ball that he chased down in right field that bounced about 3 or 4 feet in front of him, didn't leave his feet. On that double play ball in the 10th inning, maybe it's just me being picky, but it just seemed like Doley not really hustling down the line. I know we're spoiled with guys like Evan Carter that just go just 100 million miles an hour, no matter what kind of ball is being hit, even if it's a no doubt homer. Evan Carter is just sprinting out of the box. Maybe we're just spoiled, but it just seemed like Doley not really running hard. It's slick conditions out there. I think we had seen over and over again that players were not fielding the ground balls cleanly, especially the Royals. So for me, didn't love the no hustle from Doley on that double play in the 10th inning. I know I'm being picky, but it's easy and nice to be able to do that after a win. But regardless, Doley today, 1 for 5, 2 strikeouts. Average is down to 286. We'll just kind of go through the box score here as things come up. But the ninth inning is probably my moment number two. It might be. Jonah Heim might need to be ahead of Nate Lowe today. I think Nate Lowe's just been on such a tear that it's easy to gravitate towards him and what he did today. But Jonah Heim, with one out in the top of the ninth inning, coming up with a home run, a kiss off the foul pole. You just love it. It did not seem like this was going to be a day that the Rangers were going to come through with the victory. The offense was doing absolutely nothing all game. I did love in the top of that eighth inning, Leote gets on. Simi hits that ground ball, right side, productive out. Siegs with the sacrifice fly. That is small ball at its finest. Now, you don't want to be playing small ball per se with your two best hitters, Simeon and Seager, but you know what? I appreciated the fact that it was a tough game offensively, and in the top of that eighth inning, Leote gets on, and then we're able to advance guys, get productive outs, and score a run there. That eighth inning is just as big as the Jonah Heim home run in my mind, because without that eighth inning, it's a 2-1 game with that Heim homer. So Jonah Heim, though, coming up with one out and tying the game in that spot, 107 miles an hour off the bat. That ball was smoked, line drive, and it's able to hit that foul pole. Not too high up on the foul pole. That was a laser shot from Jonah Heim. I think I saw I got a little notification from Jared Sandler on X. Think he said that was the fifth game that the Rangers had not hit a home run until Heim hit that one. First home run in like 5 games for the Rangers. It didn't feel like that, but I guess, especially with the big production that the Rangers had last night, didn't really feel like it had been 5 games. But with how this offense has been scuffling, I wasn't shocked. I wasn't shocked to see that, but I can't say it felt like it had been 5 games without a homer. But there it is. Jonah Heim, though, big clutch hit from him. He has been really stepping up his game since the Josh Young injury. I always said from really spring training to the beginning of the year before Young was hurt, Jonah Heim just needed to have a decent season for us up at the plate, just be that gold glove catcher. But with Young going down, it is great to see him producing at the all-star level that he did last year. Heim up to 276. He was on base a bunch yesterday, went 1 for 3 today with an RBI, the game tying RBI. Jonah Heim, 740 OPS, and of course, doing a great job behind the plate. Really, really glad to see Jonah Heim hitting his stride offensively. I really do feel like he is. And then going up and down the rest of the lineup, Simi goes 1 for 5 today. Seager goes 1 for 4 with that sac fly. Nate Lowe 1 for 4 with that game-winning RBI. Also had a walk today, so Nate Lowe on base twice. Jonah Heim went through him. Josh Smith goes 0 for 3. And then we have Duran going 1 for 3. Eventually, Jankowski subbed in for him. And we had Jankowski getting a base knock as well. His average is up to 267. I think we said last night, not going to mind seeing a little more Travis Jankowski. Wyatt Langford out of the lineup today. They're waiting on an MRI, I believe, on his hamstring, seeing how bad it is. Not going to mind seeing a few more Jankowski at bats. And maybe this will be a good mental reset for Wyatt Langford. I think that's got to be the plan right now if you're the Rangers. I think that's the silver lining, the glass half full perspective. Now, maybe Wyatt's able to take a little breather and he comes back from this injury fresher mentally, physically, and he tears it up in the month of May and June or whenever it is that he comes back. So Wenzel comes on for defensive purposes, doesn't get an at bat, but Wenzel made a nice play at third base. And Nate Lowe, great scoop. I think this was bottom of the ninth inning. Rangers were trying to push it to extras. Wenzel made a great play to his left. Nate Lowe with a great scoop and sent the game to extra innings. So Wenzel, no at bat, but made a nice defensive play. Evan Carter goes 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. Tough day for Evan Carter. Anytime there's a lefty up, they appear to be just putting him down 8th or ninth in the order, usually 8th. But Evan Carter not doing a lot to help himself out with that perception of struggling against lefties. Don't think he had like 4 terrible at bats per se, but 3 strikeouts, 0 for 4 never looks good when you're just looking at the box score. But Evan Carter, 0 for today, 227 average now. And then Leote. I think I saw a stat pop up that he's reached safely in 8 straight games. So Leote, whether we like it or not, is getting on base right now. He is 1 for 4, 2 runs scored today, and his average is 234 on the year at this point. So Leote on base in 8 straight games. It doesn't feel like it, to go back to that expression when we said it doesn't feel like the Rangers have gone 5 games without a home run before Jonah Heim's bomb today. Similarly, it doesn't feel like Leote's been on base in 8 straight games, but we'll take it. It's good to see him doing well at the bottom of the order, setting the table for Marcus Semien, for Seager, and for the top of that lineup. Even just turning over the lineup is so huge when you're in that 9-hole spot. So glad to see that Leote is producing and getting on base. Leote can be an outstanding player. It's just about consistency with him. And having him get on base 8 straight times, 8 straight games, I should say, that is consistency. Hopefully, it's something that Leote can maintain. That's the hope. And then we already kind of talked about the bullpen, but more zeros from the bullpen. We got to love that. 3 innings, no earned runs, no hits from the bullpen. It was a combined effort of Yates and Robertson today. 3 strikeouts in those 3 innings by the bullpen, 2 walks. So the bullpen, once again, elite, dominant, shut down. It is lovely to see because as Rangers fans, we have not always been treated to a great bullpen throughout the years. But I would say if you're talking about guys to get you through the 7th, 8th, and 9th innings, I do think the Rangers have those guys. Do we lack a little bit of depth? Do we lack a little bit of talent in the middle relief and the long relief? Perhaps. But in terms of shutting down and closing out the other team at the end of games, I do think we have that in Yates and Robertson. And there's some other guys that are pitching well in this Rangers bullpen too. So the bullpen has been far from the reason why the Rangers don't have a few more games in the win column. The offense, in my mind, is the larger issue. And look, it was an offensive struggle today for the Rangers. It was an offensive struggle. Now, doing what they did in the 9th and 10th inning covers a multitude of sins, as they say. But this was another kind of concerning game from the Rangers offense. They were facing a guy that I don't think had been up in the major leagues yet. He's been in the majors before, made a bunch of starts, I think, since 2021. But, the guy who pitched for the Royals today, Lynch, he was like almost a 6 ERA in 6 games in AAA. I mean, they should have totally pummeled this dude today. But they made him look like a number 2, number 3 starter in the majors. Lynch was sporting almost a 6 ERA in 6 starts on the AAA team for the Royals. So for me, look, it doesn't seem like just how the Rangers are going right now that they're going to be making a lot of these guys look bad, but they sure made Lynch look really, really good for a guy that has struggled down at the AAA level. So I am thankful that the Rangers were able to squeeze out a win today. I'm interested to see how the Bats do in Oakland. I'm interested to see how this series goes in Oakland. The A's have just spent a few days beating up, absolutely beating up on the Marlins. Although I think the Marlins might have gotten a win today. I think Marlins were winning the last time that I pulled up all the scores from today. Yes, Marlins are up 9-3. A's are 500 right now. A's are 17-17 right now. I did not have that at all on my bingo card for this baseball season, that on May 5th, the A's would be playing 500 baseball. I don't think anybody really does either. I don't think anybody predicted this. But the A's took 2 out of 3 from us last time we played them, and that was in Arlington. Can we go to Oakland and take the series there? Back-to-back series wins for the Rangers. I believe that we're on a 2-game win streak here. Don't know if we've won 3 straight this year. Feels like 2 is the max. I don't know if any of y'all can help me out. And by the way, I'm checking out YouTube right now for all the comments. What's up, Pat? Appreciate you tuning in, bud. Yeah, I really feel like the A's series that we're about to embark upon here is going to be a big moment for the Rangers. Maybe we can get 3 wins in a row here, win our 3rd series in a row. And this will be a good opportunity for the Rangers to put a little distance. This sounds weird coming out, but put a little distance between themselves and the A's. If you look at the standings right now, Rangers are 18. Excuse me, they are what now? Is it 18-17? Something like that. And the A's are like 17-17. I mean, 19-16, sorry, for the Rangers, 17-17 for the A's. I mean, wow. There is a game and a half difference. It'll go up to 2.5 if the A's lose, but there's a 2-game difference between the Rangers and the A's right now. So can we create a little bit of separation, please, between ourselves and the Oakland A's in this series? So that is the plan. Rangers, though, long flight out to Oakland. Glad it could be a happy flight, getting a 10-inning, extra inning, 3-2 win over the Royals. Royals are a good baseball team. I think we kind of saw that. We saw that the Royals have some players on that team. They've got some pitching. I don't think that the Royals are the elite of the elite in the major leagues by any means. But that being said, the Royals have won 20 games. They were 19-13 coming into this season, or coming into this series, and they are now 20-15, still a better record than the Rangers. This was a huge series for the Rangers on the road after a long homestand, taking 2 out of 3. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. Regardless of the offensive struggles in the first game, and even to an extent today, it's a big deal to take 2 out of 3 against a very solid Kansas City team. And Bobby Witt, what a player. He really impressed me. I mean, I know Bobby Witt's been an elite Major League Baseball player now for the past couple of years, but Bobby Witt really impressed me for the Royals. That dude is going to be a problem. He's going to be a problem for years to come. The speed, the power, everything, man. He is an elite player. I can see why the Royals locked him up long term already. And good for them. Good for them, because that doesn't always happen. Getting to lock up guys double-digit years who still are not fully past their ARB years. Huge. Huge. So Bobby Witt, if we're talking about anything Royals today, let's appreciate that dude's greatness. He is going to be a great baseball player, even more so than he already is. He's got a long career, a long, very solid, good career ahead of him. So let's look at tomorrow a little bit. And we've got, looks like, Andrew Heaney going against Alex Wood. Rangers, I believe, actually hit pretty well against Alex Wood last time they were out. I think it was the other couple of starters that gave the Rangers trouble. But I think Alex Wood, they actually hit pretty well. But this Rangers all righty or predominantly righty lineup that they throw out against lefties, I don't know how successful it's really been. It feels like the Rangers struggle against the lefty starters. Really feels like that is something that is becoming a little bit of a thing right now. I think the Rangers are at their best, and they have their best lineup out there when it's a righty going. That being said, the Rangers do have some guys that seem to hit well off lefties. Leote is one of those guys. Garcia is one of those guys. I think in the reel we put out before the game today, I talked about Garcia before today had a 344 average against lefties. So I definitely feel like the Rangers have some guys that do hit lefties well, but by and large, it seems like right-handed starter is usually a little bit more of a successful game for us when we're able to face a righty starter versus a lefty. Would love to see the complete splits on that, talking just specifically about lefty starters versus righty starters. Probably have to dig into Baseball Reference for that one. I know if I go to ESPN, it'll just give me like the general every left-handed pitcher, every right-handed pitcher. Just would be curious to see what the splits are when the Rangers face a lefty starter, what their average is versus a righty starter. But Alex Wood, nothing impressive this year for the A's. 6.32 ERA, 1-2 on the year. Andrew Heaney on the flip side has pitched very, very well of late. I think the last 3 or 4 starts of his have been very solid. Andrew Heaney, tough luck. Last time out, Rangers really did not give him any run support. But Andrew Heaney, last 7 games, actually, let's try and take it a little bit down below that. This isn't right here. I'm looking up some stats on MLB as we talk. So last time out, 7 innings pitched, 1 earned run. 6 innings pitched, 4 earned runs against the Mariners. 5 innings pitched, 3 earned runs against the Braves. And we talked about that Mariners start for Heaney, how really when you look at that start, he gave up 2 2-run homers. If you take away those 2 mistake pitches, he threw 6 solid innings, no earned runs, 7 strikeouts, 3 hits. So look, I know that's easy to be kind of like nitpicky about and cherry pick, but in all actuality, it was a really good start, I felt, from Andrew Heaney against the Mariners on April 25th. But last time out, 7 innings pitched, 1 earned run. Granted, it was against the Nationals, so you got to take it with a little bit of a grain of salt. But at the same time, I do expect Andrew Heaney to go out and continue his good stretch of pitching. I do think that he's going to give the Rangers a good chance to win tomorrow. Just my gut feeling based on watching him his last few times out. Hope to be right on that one. Very much hope to be right on that one. But Andrew Heaney has given the Rangers a solid chance to win pitching of late. Hopefully they can give him a little bit of run support. It's tough when you're pitching like Jon Gray had to today. That's why I really commend Jon Gray. When it's 2-0, I mean, look, I had obviously never played Major League Baseball before, but did play in high school, a little bit in college as well. It is frustrating when you're out there and you're pitching great. And yes, you've given up 1 or 2 runs, but your offense is doing absolutely nothing for you. Nothing for you. It's hard because you have to stay focused and locked in and not let that frustration get to you because you want to win. You're a competitor and you've just got to focus on continuing to make your pitches. So I would love to see the Rangers give Andrew Heaney a few runs. And yeah, let me go to a couple of comments here. Yeah, he absolutely, I think, has been above any kind of expectations that any Rangers fans have had or should have of Andrew Heaney. He is sporting a 5.10 ERA at this point. So look, let's not pretend like, he's absolutely killing it. But at the same time, 30 innings pitched, 110 whip. So what that tells me is he's limiting base runners. He's not walking as many guys as what we're used to. He has no walks in his last 13 innings pitched. If you want to go further back, 2 walks in his last 18 innings pitched. That's incredible from Heaney. If Heaney can continue to not walk guys, he is going to be an effective pitcher for us. It's when Andrew Heaney starts walking guys and giving up the free passes that he starts to struggle, and generally what leads to him having to exit games quickly. But the last 2 times out for Andrew Heaney to go 6 and then go 7, that is big. That's big from a guy like him. So I'm hoping for more of the same from him. 110 whip, that is impressive. allowing basically one base runner an inning. That's pretty good because there are some guys base runner and a half an inning, right? I mean, it's definitely a little bit mind-blowing to see him with the whip that low, just based on what we've gotten from him in the past. So I agree, Andrew Heaney, much, much better than I think anybody could have expected out of him. The Rangers, by the way, I was looking at some of the Rangers pitchers' bios, just out of curiosity. So Andrew Heaney, first round pick, 9th overall. So Andrew Heaney, I just think it's important to think about things like this. Like, let's be reminded, Andrew Heaney was a top talent, a top prospect in this league for a long time. He's got the stuff to be successful. First round pick by the Marlins back in 2012 and 9th overall. Jon Gray is another Rangers pitcher, first rounder. I think Jon Gray was the 3rd pick in the first round in his draft. So the Rangers have guys. I mean, Jon Gray is clearly showing off his first round stuff, but the Rangers have some talented pitchers. DeGrom, obviously, Scherzer, obviously. The Rangers have a very, very quality pitching staff. Even the guys that we really don't think of as just top tier talent, coming into the league, they had that. And maybe they lost it a little bit. Guys like Heaney lost it a little bit along the way. But Andrew Heaney, I think, pitching very solid right now. I'm expecting a good game out of him. Oh, appreciate this. Thank you for this update. So Langford was getting an MRI today, and assuming this is official, but going to be out for 3 to 4 weeks, huh? Okay. Hey, like I said, I'm not going to mind Jankowski for 3 to 4 weeks. Now, look, if this was a 2-month injury, that's a little concerning, but I think Travis Jankowski can give you 3 to 4 good weeks. I really think that this could be a blessing in disguise for Langford, getting a little bit of a mental reset. And I think they would be wise to send him down for a rehab stint, 3 to 4 weeks off. You don't have to like officially send him down, but you let him go down to AAA, do a little rehab stint, play a few games down there. I think this could really be a good thing because let's be honest, Langford, he has his flashy moments. That speed is real and it plays, but Langford is not hitting well right now. And I think the vision that he showed at the beginning of the year, really, really good vision at the plate. And we all know that Langford has been very, very unfairly treated up at the plate by the officials. Of course, some of y'all saw, I think he leads the league in strike calls that are actually outside and should have been called balls. I think he's up to around 20 of those balls that are on the outside corner, supposedly, that are actually true balls but are called strikes. So I think Langford is having a little bit of tough luck, but if you watch his at bats, even the pitches that are right down central, even the pitches that he should be able to hit, he's not quite hitting at this point. And so I really think this might be a good reset for him. Rest. I'm sure that he'll be doing little tweaks, doing little things that he can do. Maybe he can do a little bit of cage work to an extent with that hammy, because obviously a large part of that is just running. So we'll see. Maybe he can retool some things, do a little rehab stint in AAA, kind of get like sent down without getting sent down, you know what I mean? And then maybe he comes back a different player. But is any Rangers fan really complaining about seeing Travis Jankowski a little bit more? I mean, that dude was super clutch in the World Series. He continues to have quality at bats every time I see him play. I'm not panicking at all about Langford being out. And it's a little bit weird to me to see some Rangers fans doing that. And by no means, I don't feel like anybody who's been a watcher of our show has been that way or been overreacting to any injuries. But, I just see a lot of different stuff online, on Facebook, on X, social media, people really panicking every time there's an injury. I mean, this really does not affect the Rangers lineup that much. You weren't getting very much production out of Wyatt Langford. You weren't hardly getting any production out of him. He was hitting 230. He gave you some speed. He was at least like not getting doubled up all the time. He was beating out ground balls on fielder's choices, and he had some flashy plays here and there. And we all know he's going to be the future of the franchise. He's got the tools, but let's not pretend like it's a major loss to the lineup. He wasn't hitting well. So I think this is going to be a good reset for him, and I look forward to seeing what Jankowski does with the opportunity. He seems to take advantage pretty much every time he gets one. It doesn't mean he's going to be the starter or be the guy that they go with long term, unless he's just absolutely killing it. But this is a good little moment for him to be able to show what he's got. And so far, what I've seen from Travis Jankowski, great defending out in the outfield and quality at bats. Does that mean he gets on base every single time? No. Of course, he's hitting 278, so of course he's getting out here and there. But he's giving you good at bats. He's not giving at bats away. He's making the pitcher work. He's putting the ball in play. He's having productive outs. He's moving runners over even when he gets out. That's the kind of ball player you get with Travis Jankowski, and I love to see it. So I'm happy that El Blondie is getting some more playing time. Love that guy. So look, it's going to be all right. The Evo injury is a little bit more concerning to me, but again, pitching is not the problem right now. We have got 3 or 4 guys in this rotation that are overperforming. Doesn't mean it's going to last forever, but pitching isn't the problem right now. We got to get this lineup hitting consistently. And hopefully this stretch of games that we have coming up here against what I would call some subpar competition is going to be good for this offense. But the Rangers last year, at least last year, I felt like kind of sometimes would play down to the competition. I'm not going to say I've seen that pattern so far this year, but I hope that doesn't happen against the A's. Really hope that doesn't happen. So let's take a look, by the way, at the schedule kind of moving forward here. So Rangers kind of have like a weird doubleheader on Wednesday. So they play Monday, they play Tuesday, kind of have a weird doubleheader on Wednesday. I'm almost certain that we're probably going to see Jack Leiter at some point in this A's series. Look, maybe they've announced it already, so I'm not trying to be breaking news guy, but I'm sure that Leiter is probably going to be making a start. I would be really surprised if they didn't, especially with the weird doubleheader. I don't know why they did that. Maybe just to give an off day for the Rangers and the A's. I think both of them are off on Thursday. So I'm not sure exactly what the rationale was there with playing the doubleheader on Wednesday, because the A's and Rangers, it's not like they've been rained out in any of their games. No game's been postponed. My guess is it's a scheduling thing. They probably got together, the league got together with some of the teams and said, hey, would you rather play a doubleheader one day, or would you rather, not play a doubleheader but not get the off day the next day? Maybe most teams chose, hey, I want the off day. We'll play the doubleheader the day before. Just give us the off day. I mean, I can't blame them. It's a long season, and there's not a ton of off days sprinkled in. So if it was me, I would much rather play a doubleheader and then have a Thursday off if I was a player. I mean, I can only tell you what my opinion is on that. I know it's a little bit weird scheduling wise, but I'd much rather play a doubleheader on Wednesday and then be off on Thursday. And then on Friday, after the off day on Thursday, we play the Rockies in Colorado. So this week is a big, big week coming up for the Rangers to take advantage of playing some inferior competition. We're not talking about taking anybody for granted, so that's not what we're saying here, but we're talking about play all out to get these wins this week. Let's get 7 wins this week. It's not impossible to sweep the A's and sweep the Rockies. Do I think it's going to happen? No. But could I see us winning 5 of these 7? Yes. And I think that needs to be what happens. I think 5 wins is like the bar. If we only win 4, it's not the end of the world going 4-3 this week. But when you're playing the A's and the Rockies back to back, this needs to be a week where the minimum games you win is 5. 5 of 7. Go 5-2 this week, playing the A's and the Rockies back to back. And then after that, on Monday, after Sunday's game, the Rangers come back home and they will get some home cooking to play the Guardians, who are playing some very good baseball right now. Guardians are 22-12 at the moment. So take advantage of the A's and the Rockies series that you have coming up before you play a first place team and the Cleveland Guardians. So that is the outlook moving forward. Glad to see that Leiter has been doing pretty well since he went down to the minors. I have not been keeping up with him, I must be honest. So glad to see and glad to hear that he's been doing a little bit better. I'm going to pull up his starts just because I'm curious now. So Leiter made his MLB debut, probably a couple of weeks ago. So let's take a look at his game log and what he's been doing of late and just check out how good he has been so far. So his last, let's get minors. Where are my minor league stats at? Okay, here we go. Perfect. Yeah, you're right. It does look like he's actually done pretty well. So 5 games, 2.84 ERA at AAA. Yep, and he has struck out, let's see, a total of 37 in 25 innings pitched. That'll play. 37 strikeouts in 25 innings pitched for Leiter down in AAA. A 165 opponent average against. He's pitching well right now. A .91 whip, giving up less than a base runner in innings. So, Pat, you weren't lying, dude. Leiter has been killing it down in AAA. Hopefully he comes back up, presuming he's going to get a start against the A's. Hopefully we can give him some good run support like we did last time, and he'll be a little bit sharper out there, and it'll all come together. Leiter, of course, when he faced the Tigers, 3 walks, 8 hits, a lot of traffic on the base paths, wasn't very good. It started out promising, especially with the Rangers jumping out to like a 7-0 lead, wasn't it? It was something crazy. It was something crazy like that. It was like 4-0, then 7-0. So Leiter absolutely is going to be getting another shot soon. I really, really just hope that his next start is a positive one for him. It doesn't have to be like a lockdown, 7 innings pitched, no earned runs, 10 Ks, but could we get 5 innings, less than 3 runs? How about 5 innings, 3 runs or less? I would take a start like that from Jack Leiter. If I'm getting greedy, give me 6 innings pitched, 3 earned runs. I would love that stat line from Leiter next time out. Absolutely. The anti-Leclerc. Yeah, Leclerc. Oh, my goodness. Hey, I love that guy. Leclerc's awesome. He's a good guy. And look, he had a bunch of big moments for us in the postseason. He can get big outs, but as we like to joke here, right on Rangers, the dude is just allergic to a clean inning. He cannot have a clean inning. It is a rare, rare sight when Leclerc sits the other side down 1-2-3. Now, does he throw up zeros? Yes, he does, but not before he gives you an elevated heart rate and heartburn. There's runners on like first and second with 1 out, and then he manages to somehow work out of it, or he gives up a base hit and a couple of runs. But Leclerc has been pitching well. Let's not get down on Leclerc. He's actually been improving. I think he's got his ERA down below 7 at this point. I'll stop. Leclerc's been pitching better. But Leclerc, he is just allergic to the clean inning. Hopefully it gets better. Hopefully he'll hear us. The ears will burn a little bit, and he'll start setting some guys down 1-2-3. That sure would be nice. Oh my gosh. Well, y'all, let's do a little AL West score wrap up, and then we got to get to watching some Game 7 hockey here. Stars and Knights coming up in about 15, 20 minutes, right? So let's look at what we got going on around the league. So Astros and Mariners are closing things out in their series. So right now, we got 5-4 Mariners today. So Astros are 12-22, Mariners 19-15. So as we were saying, the Mariners half-game lead on the Rangers. So that was able to shrink after the series that the Mariners had with the Astros and the one we had with the Royals. So Astros are 7 games out and 6.5 behind the Rangers. That'll work. Anytime the Rangers win and the Astros lose, it is a good day. That being said, don't love seeing the Mariners gain any ground either, being in first place. But hey, We'll take it. We'll take an Astros loss and a Rangers win today. Beyond that, we talked about the Athletics losing to the Marlins, and that score is final. The A's lose 12-3. Man, did y'all see them put up like 20 runs the other day? I mean, you are playing the Marlins, who are 10-26 right now and are pretty much selling off any good piece they have. Of course, the Marlins made that big trade with the Padres yesterday, a couple of days ago. So Marlins not a very good team, but good to see them beat the A's. A's dropped to 17-18. And then the Angels, let's finish off with them. Angels lose to the Guardians today 4-1 in Cleveland. So we've got 7 games out for Angels and Astros, 2 games out for the A's, and the Rangers are a half game out. And there's the AL West roundup. Yeah, I totally agree. I'll take a Mariners win, even if it means them keeping first place. The Mariners, if they would have lost today, would have meant Rangers reclaiming the first place spot. But on May 5th, I'll take the Rangers being a half game out of first place. It's really okay. A half game lead versus a half game deficit, not going to be anything that I lose sleep over at this point. And being real, I'll take an Astros loss for sure over the Mariners winning instead any day. Absolutely. So we, at this point, are going to start signing off tomorrow. We'll have a reel out to you previewing the matchup, previewing our predictions and all that stuff for the games coming up against Oakland. We'll also go through our system with you, betting 1 cent on Texas Rangers money line for every follower. We've kind of bumped it up a little bit, raised the stakes slightly, and we're including not only Facebook followers, but also our followers on TikTok into the mix. So we're up to around a $42 bet at this point. So, hey, share with the Rangers fan. Let's keep having some fun with it. And with the Rangers winning today, we've got a little bit of cushion. I believe we are now close to $40 in profit on the year, betting Rangers money line 1 cent for every follower that we have. So, hey, that is always a good thing. Always a good thing. So we've got profit in the system, a Rangers win, and an Astros loss. Hard to beat it. Now we're going to go and watch some hopefully outstanding hockey in Game 7, Stars and Knights, winner to advance to play Colorado. Should be a good one. But we'll see y'all tomorrow. Hope you have a great rest of your weekend and a really good Sunday night and a week ahead. And as we always say, God bless and go